What's up, miners? It's your boy Jake, back with another episode of Mine Something. What do we got for today? We got a bunch of stuff to cover today. We got what to mine, we got ETH Gwei, we got difficulty, we got my Powercolors 6600 back from RMA process. We got the Inflation Reduction Act. We're going to talk about how that's going to affect us as miners. We're going to talk about the IRS. We're going to talk about F2 pool. So yeah, stick around to the end. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe for me, please. So let's get into it. All right, let's take a look at the Gwei coming in at 28 to 30 Gwei. Okay, it stepped up a little bit. It was pretty low earlier, sitting at around 19 or 20. I did notice yesterday we got up to 250 on the max, and rewards were quite a bit better today. Let's take a look at the difficulty. We're coming in at 11.93, and as you can see, we are slowly just creeping up here. Man, can you imagine if they had not diffused the difficulty bomb? We'd be sitting at about 15 petahash right now. My gosh. Anyway, taking a look at the farm today, we are coming in at 46.54 in total revenue and 36.29 profit after power. Sitting at about 1.7 gigahash at the moment. And let's take a look at this 6600 that just came back from RMA. Can you guess which one it is? That's right. It's the one sitting at 94 degrees Celsius on the memory. even the one that I've had since, oh gosh, probably November, is still at 88 degrees currently. But I wanted to point out, look at the gigabytes. 60 degrees on the memory in the exact same rig, and 76 on the other one compared to 94 and 88. Sapphire not quite as bad as Powercolor, but as you can see, these gigabytes, man, very impressive. They look like a plastic toy. I mean, they're just hideous, but man, the thermals just absolutely crush it. So moving along, I was watching some around the blockchain today and caught this little tidbit here. Let me rewind this here. So he is referring to the Inflation Reduction Act. This is Max Wright.
But one of the most insidious things in this bill that I find just crazy offensive is 87,000 more IRS agents being added. A couple things here to consider. We have very low unemployment at the moment. Labor is scarce. There are businesses out there desperate to hire people who cannot find people. And the government is going to go and grab 87,000 people and put them into the unproductive thing of not producing anything, but adding to the bureaucracy. That is plain stupidity and extremely bad for the country in the short term. But let's put our tinfoil hat.
So yeah, tinfoil hat guy, right? Yeah, that's what they want you to think. You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Let me ask you something. What do you think these 87,000 new IRS agents are going to be going after? According to, what is this, California Globe. That's interesting to see it come out of a typically left-wing state. With an increasingly complex tax code, Democrats know that the Internal Revenue Service will need more agents to audit compliance. Because of this need, the Inflation Reduction Act doubles the number of IRS agents, costing taxpayers a whopping $45 billion or 87,000 new agents. Of course, by doubling the number of agents, the IRS will target not just corporations, but average Americans as well. That's right. They don't need 87,000 agents to go after 700 billionaires that currently reside in the United States. If you think that all of this extra manpower is going to go towards the super wealthy, the elite, the Bill Gates, the Elon Musks of the world, look, they already have teams dedicated to those individuals. And it's a fairly small team, okay? But they each have their own little team. And they know well in advance that it's not in their best interest to go after the super, super wealthy, because what happens if we do? A, they leave this country and they go somewhere else, but B, it is a huge waste of time. They can tie them up in court. They have the money for the lawyers, and the litigation just is something they're used to. But we're not. And when I say we, I mean me and you and your typical average American, right? And I got something that I really want to discuss with all of the mining community out here. I don't like it any more than you do, but you have to understand you need to pay taxes for mining currently according to the law. Let's take a look at the IRS website. We got to scroll down a pretty good ways here, but some of you really, really, really need to hear this, or perhaps go read it for yourself. Must a taxpayer who receives virtual currency as payment for goods or services include in computing gross income the fair market value of the virtual currency? Yes, a taxpayer who receives virtual currency as payment for goods or services must, in computing gross income, include the fair market value of the virtual currency measured in US dollars as of the date of the virtual currency was received. So essentially, what you need to view this as is your regular income, okay? And it needs to be reported. And depending on your tax bracket, that will determine how much taxes you pay towards your mined income, okay? So if you're, let's say for example, in a 24% category, you need to pay 24% taxes of your mined income when you pay your taxes, or at least it's going to be calculated. Now you may have a refund coming back, you may have already paid enough in to offset this, but for the large guys out there, yeah, I know a few that do not plan on paying their taxes and have not been reporting it, and I'm trying to make sure that everybody's educated on this subject because it is coming, guys. They are hiring 87,000 IRS agents, and they will be looking very heavily into crypto. This is on the doorstep of Congress. It is very important that if you don't agree with how this is calculated, that you reach out to your Congress members, your Senate, whoever, whatever the appropriate channels are, find them and voice your opinion. It's extremely important. But one of the reasons that I don't agree with this, and I'm still going to pay my taxes regardless, but when you mine crypto, depending on the crypto, but in most cases, what is happening is a new coin is created and distributed amongst the miners. When something is created, it should be treated as a creation and not a property until it is sold. For example, if a baker bakes a cake, is he taxed when he finishes baking the cake? No, he's taxed when he sells the cake. And that's how crypto should be treated as well. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. And lastly, wanted to talk about something I saw on Rabid Mining today. If you are not following him, you should be. Please go give him a like and subscribe. But in his video today, we've got F2 Pool has been cheating. Let's get into the story here. So researchers say they have discovered consensus level attack on Ethereum, miners cheating the system to earn more. The title should say mining pools cheating the system to earn more, as Rabid would say. A research paper published by the Hebrew University in Israel reports having discovered the first evidence of a consensus-level attack on a major cryptocurrency. The paper is currently awaiting peer review but utilizes publicly available on-chain data and Ethereum's open-source codebase to affirm its conclusions. At its core, the paper highlights an issue where miners can change the timestamp related to a mined block to avoid increased difficulty on the network. On-chain data appears to support the claim, as Avid Yaish, one of the paper's authors, highlighted F2Pool's block timestamps being artificially altered to improve rewards. And yeah, here he goes on to say, whenever F2Pool's block timestamps reach the point where mining difficulty is supposed to decrease, they artificially set them to be 1 second earlier. F2Pool has been executing this attack for the past 2 years, and the evidence has been hiding in plain sight. Well, there you go. I mean, we all suspect it from time to time, and yeah. You know, we'll wait for further investigation into this, but if you're on F2Pool, definitely something to be aware of. I personally haven't used it, but yeah. So that's the news for today, guys. Please remember, it is very important. You have to pay your taxes. I know you're avoiding it. You can't avoid it, man. You don't want to deal with this stuff later on. Just figure it out. We'll go over some help. There's plenty of videos out there. I'll try and leave some perhaps in the description below. Speaking of which, if you would, hit that like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Very much appreciated. New channel. Need to get in front of the algorithm, guys. Thanks. Have a good one. I'm out.